Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, pizza fans of all ages. My name is Mike, and welcome to Pizzaman Mario. And it is finally time for me to continue my SpongeBob episode reviews for Season 13. These episodes have been long overdue for a review on the channel, but there have been some technical difficulties, including me getting sick and then losing motivation afterwards. But I'm finally getting around to doing them, and as you can see, I'm dressed for the occasion. Got my Nickelodeon themed shirt with SpongeBob right there. So you know I'm ready to go. I hope you guys are as well. So for this video, I'm be talking about the Big Bad Bubble Bass and SeaMan Sponge Haters Club. So let's not waste any more time. Now take a seat, get comfortable, grab your snacks and beverages, and let's get started. Now I would mention that this review does contain spoilers, but these episodes have been out for months, so I don't think I have to worry about spoiling it. You probably all saw the episodes by now. So first we'll talk about the Big Bad Bubble Bass. And in this episode, Karen tells a fairy tale of the Big Bad Bubble Bass. And this is the second time they've told a fairy tale on the show. The first one being Pat Nocchio from season 11. In this particular fairy tale, Bubble Bass, trying to complete his action figure collection, there's only one he needs to get, and that is Pigulon.
The joys of being a collector.
There ain't nothing else like it. And before he leaves to go get the toy, he puts on this costume called Wolfman Boy. You know, Wolfman Boy. That should be the Wolfman's tag team partner in PCW. I'm kidding. Anyway, he puts on this costume, of course to go along with the theme of the three little pigs and the big bad wolf. And then he goes down to the toy barrel to get the toy. But then he finds out they're all sold out. I'm sure we all can relate to that feeling. Not a good feeling. And then it turns out SpongeBob and Patrick bought the last one. And the rest of the episode involves Bubble Bass trying to get the toy from SpongeBob and Patrick. And this leads into many funny antics from Bubble Bass. He poses as a toy inspector to take every toy back to the factory for questioning or being too dangerous. And SpongeBob takes them all to his vault where he keeps all his toys. And apparently, in some way, shape, or form, all SpongeBob's toys are dangerous. They can either be too sharp, you have stuff locked to your eyeballs, explode? Yeah, SpongeBob literally has a toy that explodes when you drop it. Who do you buy that toy from? Bomberman? He even had one that shot fireworks and launched Bubble Bass into the air. Just out of curiosity, SpongeBob, where'd you buy these toys? I'm honestly curious. Then Bubble Bass poses as Danny Phantom, a ghost inspector, and tries to say that Pigulon is hiding a ghost inside of him. Instead of being able to take it back with him, SpongeBob and Patrick create a seance. This wouldn't be the first time SpongeBob has done this. He did this in the season 9 episode, Seance Schmeance. But yeah, they create a seance, and then this big ghost pig guy just comes out and be like, "Who dares disturb me?" And then Patrick wants to blame that Bubble Bass, and he takes him away. So now I'm curious, did Pigulon actually have a ghost inside of him? Was that just a coincidence, or... I don't know. Some things are better left unanswered. Anyway, fed up with the antics of SpongeBob and Patrick, Bubble Bass finally starts to embrace the Big Bad Wolf parody, but instead of huffing and puffing and blowing the houses down, Bubble Bass chugs, clugs, and belches the houses down. Which I gotta admit is very funny. That he drinks this fizz cola and then belches down SpongeBob's house. And then SpongeBob and Patrick run to Patrick's house. And then Bubble Bass, using the fizz cola and hot sauce, he belches down, or I should say burns down, Patrick's house. Burn it down! Yeah, apparently Bubble Bass is Seth Rollins. Anyway, SpongeBob and Patrick then run to Squidward's house to hide by climbing through the nose of the house, which I guess is another entrance you never knew about? I don't know. And then Bubble Bass tries to belch down Squidward's house too, but he can't do that because Squidward just had his house SpongeBob proof. So I guess that means SpongeBob and Bubble Bass have the same amount of power? I don't know. And then Bubble Bass goes to complain to his mother, and then she goes over to Squidward's house and belches the house down, not even using the fizz cola, just took one big belch and blew the house down, even blew the water out of the sea. Dang, woman. It's brutal. And then she finds out that SpongeBob and Patrick bought the toy after SpongeBob showed her the receipt. And then as punishment for Bubble Bass, she belches his clothes off. Then SpongeBob and Patrick, feeling bad, decide to give Pigulon to Bubble Bass. But then he finds it all broken and beat up and destroyed, and then he goes bursting into tears. I'll admit, I probably would too. And then the episode ends with Squidward chasing down Karen, because thanks to her story, Squidward's house needs to be repaired. So I guess all that was happening in real time while Karen was telling the story. Interesting. Yeah, that's the episode. Overall, I really did enjoy this episode. I thought it was very fun to go through, a nice little parody of the Three Little Pigs. They kept me engaged all the way through. So, I'd give the Big Bad Bubble Bass from Season 13 of SpongeBob SquarePants a 7 out of 10. A solid episode, and I really did enjoy it. And I wouldn't mind seeing more fairy tale stories told in SpongeBob, whether it's this season or Season 14 or anything, because between this and Patnocchio, I think they do pretty good at parodying the fairy tale stories and putting their own spin on them. I kind of like this one a little bit more than Patnocchio, but I still think they're both pretty solid episodes. I wouldn't mind seeing more from the SpongeBob crew. You know, whether it's like Jack and the Beanstalk or something, or maybe Goldilocks and the Three Bears, just anything, you know? I think it'd be really cool to see. Now let's talk about SeaMan, the Sponge Haters Club, which the name is a parody of He-Man. You know, SeaMan, He-Man, yeah. I think I probably mentioned that in this review. In this episode, Squidward is hosting a club at his house called the We Hate SpongeBob Club. I'm kind of surprised it took him 13 seasons to get this kind of plot. And this club features Squidward, Mrs. Puff, Plankton, Bubble Bass, appearing in 2 episodes back to back. Eh, Bassie? Can I call you Bassie? And interestingly enough, the mailman. Strange choice, but interesting at the same time. So I'll take it. And in this club, their motto is, "We do not wish SpongeBob any harm. We just can't stand him." Yeah, Mrs. Puff says that, but yet she tried to kill him in Demolition Doofus. And Plankton, yeah, I don't know about that, buddy. You don't like anyone Bikini Bottom. You want everyone dead. Don't lie to me. Anyway, in this club, what they do is they tell stories about their misadventures with SpongeBob. You know, SpongeBob has a tendency to be a nuisance to the Bikini Bottomites and whatnot. And they're each given these talking sponges while they tell their stories. It starts with Mrs. Puff telling the story. It's probably my favorite story out of the bunch. The story starts with Mrs. Puff passing the student at a driving test, and then SpongeBob shows up to take his driving test. This is kind of funny because Mrs. Puff portrays SpongeBob as like this evil mastermind-like character, making all these creepy monster-like faces while he's taking his test. It kind of reminded me of SpongeBob's faces that he makes when he's driving a car in SpongeBob Creature from the Krusty Krab. It reminded me a lot of that. And in the story, SpongeBob's doing his crazy driving antics that we all know and love, and he crashes into the school, blowing it up. Yep, just another day on the road for SpongeBob SquarePants, huh? And then once the story's over, SpongeBob shows up, and then gets a package shoved in his mouth by the mailman and kicked out. Yep, Bubble Bass's turn to tell a story. And in this one, Bubble Bass is at the Krusty Krab, just innocently trying to get a snack, you see? Also, they're serving hot dogs at the Krusty Krab now. I thought they stopped doing that after the Krusty Dogs episode. Anyway, and every time Bubble Bass tries to eat something, SpongeBob stops him at every single turn. Whether the fries are too greasy, not greasy enough, the drink's messed up, the patty's not perfect with sesame seeds and all. Like, he can't eat anything unless it's absolutely perfect. So I guess SpongeBob has OCD. And again, I shouldn't judge, because so do I.
Is this straight? Is it straight in the... No. Is this straight? Wait. I think that's good. No, wait. Okay, it's good. No, it's not good!
Well, again, I'm sure we've all had that moment in our lives when we want something to be absolutely perfect, and when it's not, it bugs us. But SpongeBob took this way too far. And it led to a chase scene with SpongeBob and Bubble Bass. And Bubble Bass managed to get the patty back, and he ate it, but SpongeBob crawls into Bubble Bass's mouth, out through his stomach, to get the patty back. That sponge will stop at nothing. Then Bubble Bass runs out the Krusty Krab, and that's the end of the story. And it let the Bubble Bass's belly button be tied up in knots. Poor Bubble Bass. How many times have I said Bubble Bass? Not just, like, in this episode, but talking about last episode too. Kind of many times to say Bubble Bass in the comments. Now it's Plankton's turn to tell a story. And this follows the events of him finishing his latest invention, presumably to steal the Krabby Patty formula with. Toilet paper with dynamite in it. Interesting. But then he hears a noise coming from the door. The sound of SpongeBob's laugh. Turns out SpongeBob is inside the chum bucket. He appears in like cans, I guess? He's portrayed as like this bird that came into your house randomly. Yeah, that might be annoying to deal with. And to fly around, driving you crazy. Yeah. I know how that is with flies. And Karen tries to swat SpongeBob away while hitting Plankton in the process. But you know, easier said than done. And then SpongeBob knocks over a bucket of chum, causing Karen and Plankton to slip on it, and then launches them out of the chum bucket, locking them out in the process. Plankton may be evil, but sometimes you gotta feel bad for him. And now it's Squidward's turn. But the twist is, instead of a flashback like everyone else's story, Squidward's is in real time. You get to see SpongeBob's antics as they happen. Ooh. So it starts with SpongeBob at the door, and Squidward opens it, but there's no one there. Then it turns out SpongeBob's right behind him, asking for salt water. Then SpongeBob starts to annoy the members of the club, and then Squidward cuts to Patrick, who's there apparently, because according to Squidward, under the SpongeBob scheme, Patrick tends to be there to tag along, and he drinks all the punch that's there. And SpongeBob, noticing there's no more punch, goes back to the pineapple to make some pineapple punch, homemade from his own pineapple. How about that? Then SpongeBob comes back, tipping over Squidward, dropping the punch into his air conditioner, setting the whole house on fire. That's SpongeBob for you. And then the We Hate SpongeBob Club goes over to SpongeBob's house to finish their meeting, and then we get to hear Mailman's story, well, the ending of it, where he's coughing up SpongeBob's mail for weeks. Well, this one I kind of got a little disappointed, because I wanted to hear more about Mailman's story. Oh well. Can't get everything you want, I guess. The episode ends with Squidward in his burned down house, ending the meeting, hitting his head with the mallet for some reason, and plopped to the ground. And that's the episode. And I have to say, I really did like this episode a lot. First of all, I kind of like these kind of episodes where characters tell their own stories about some random misadventures they've had. Those are always kind of interesting to watch. And this episode is no exception. I thought the portrayal of SpongeBob in these stories were funny, especially with Mrs. Puff's story. I mean, it could have easily been a SpongeBob torture episode, but honestly, I don't think it was. I thought it was just like a nice little story of like characters and their misadventures with SpongeBob. And I found it entertaining. So, I give SeaMan, the Sponge Haters Club, an 8 out of 10. Yeah, I thought this was a really good episode, season 13 of SpongeBob. I love the stories, love the character interactions. I thought it was funny, entertaining. It was a really well done story. I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up in my top 5 for the season by the end of it. And that's going to conclude this SpongeBob SquarePants review. Hope you all enjoyed it. We're going to stay tuned later today for my review of Food, Truck, and Upturn Girls. But for now, question of the video. What were your thoughts on these 2 episodes? Did you like them? Did you not like them? Let me know. But for right now, it's time for me to hit the road. That's going to be it for this video. Did you like it? If you did, give me a solid and punch the like button below like a piece of dough. And if this is your first time on this channel, you like what you saw and want to come back for more, hit that subscribe button to become a member of the Pizza Man Mario Party today. Share it out with your friends, your boyfriends, your girlfriends, or whoever you want to share with. Hit that bell to turn notifications to be the first one to see all upcoming videos. That was the time, leave a comment. Until next time, this is your boy Mike signing out, so peace out y'all, I'll see you guys later today.